Hello.
Hi, and welcome to Rick
And Mix.
Time-Saving Tips.
Here's our tip number 2 for this week. Last week we talked about finding a big chunk of time for your lesson planning. This week we're going to take all of the priorities that we've listed out and put them into our weekly planner.
And this video is going to show you how to do that. All right, so first I ranked my priorities from the most important, and I chose to pick lesson planning as first because I know that that is the most important thing for me to get done throughout the week so that I am prepared for the next week. And it takes up the most amount of my time, so I know that I need to get that done first.
Okay, then what did you think about for your second priority?
The next priority was lesson preparation, so making copies, creating activities or printing activities or laminating, whatever it is that the students are actually going to be doing after I teach the lesson. That's really important because that's how they're going to show that they've mastered the skill that I've taught. So that is the second priority.
Okay, and after that?
Parent communication was the next one. It's so important that I'm communicating with parents, with families, what's going on in the classroom. And so that was my third. And then for my fourth, I picked grading because we all know that's just a non-negotiable. We need to be grading papers in a timely manner so that students can get that feedback from what they're learning.
Why did you choose to separate that from inputting grades?
Well, inputting grades is a different task. When I'm thinking about priorities, grading papers is something that I want to get done first, and then second, I can input grades maybe like later during the week, but I'm going to get those papers graded so that they can get in the hands of students and get that feedback as quickly as possible.
Okay, and explain what type of tasks you would include as far as classroom maintenance.
For classroom maintenance, that could be anything like if I need to rearrange desks or switch out the carpet spots, maybe sharpen pencils, just tidy up, organize any papers, anything like that. Just things that I do on a regular basis that keep our classroom running smoothly and keep things organized, neat, and tidy.
Okay, so here is the weekly planner, and we will be attaching this exact copy if you would like to use this, or if you already have a planner that works for you, you can just put it directly into there. And so the first thing we want to think about, we want to put which week we're on here, and then we need to think about our required meetings that we have to go to that are already scheduled for us. So we're going to be using 4th grade as an example. We're going to use their schedule in a week and what that would look like.
Okay. So if I'm a 4th grade teacher, I know that I have my weekly data meeting with Ms. Taylor on Thursday. So you can see Thursday is so I have before school, during the school day, after school, and then at home. Your planner might be set up similar to this. So during the midday is when I'm writing things that I will get done during my conference time. So for this conference period, I know on Thursday that I will be in a meeting. So I'm just going to write data meeting in my Thursday block of time.
Okay, what other meetings do you have?
Okay, I know that I have a staff meeting every Tuesdays, and that is after school. So I'm going to write staff meeting on Tuesday. After that, I know that I will meet with the instructional coach to plan and have our coaching meeting. And those meetings for me as a 4th grade teacher happen on Tuesday during my conference time. So on Tuesday during my conference time, I'll write coaching meeting, and then we always have a collaborative meeting to talk about lesson plans. So we'll add that into my week. After that, I'm thinking about other things that take up time, and I know that I have a club on Wednesday after school. So during my after school block, the first thing I'll do is go to my club.
Okay.
And this week, I actually have a doctor's appointment on Thursday after school. And so I'll need to leave right at 4 o'clock in order to make it to my doctor's appointment. So I'm actually going to put that here in my schedule for after school so I remember
So now that we have our things that we have to go to put in, we can go to our list and use our leftover discretionary time to place those. So our first thing was lesson planning. So based on our schedule,
Okay.
where do we think that's going to go?
So I'm looking at my schedule and I know that I want, like last week's tip said, to find a big chunk of time so that I can do uninterrupted, efficient work while planning my lessons. And so I'm obviously not going to pick Tuesday because I already have meetings that day. I know Wednesday I don't have a big block of time in my conference because our Wednesday specials, we only have 25 minutes. Thursday is out for my data meeting, so I'm really thinking Monday looks really good because I don't have anything in my conference period and I don't have anything after school right away. So I could fill in lesson planning on Monday during my conference time, and then I know I'll probably need a little bit of extra time after school to finish up. So on Mondays, I will not leave school until I get all 5 days worth of my content planning into Planbook.
You're planning for when?
And this
For this week?
This planning will be for the following week. So that would be the first week of October.
Because you've already turned in your plans for this week.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so we have our lesson planning put in. Now we need to think about when we will prepare all the materials for those lessons.
Okay. So I know this is going to need another larger chunk of time, and I know that I want to get it done as soon as I can because this is the second priority. So looking at the week, I think Wednesday during my conference time would work well to prep for my lessons. Okay, another thing I also need to think about, so this prepping lessons, the bigger chunk of time, I'm prepping for the following week's lessons. So I did that lesson planning on Monday, and then I'm going to make those activities for the next week. But another type of lesson preparation that I know I have to do each week is to be prepared for the lessons I'm teaching this week. And that just really means that I am rereading over the plans before I teach that lesson, and then I'm just making sure I have all those materials in a place where I can access them easily. So you have two choices. You can either prep for that lesson plan before you leave school. So if it's Monday, I might put lesson prep here after school for the following day. But if I know that if I have a staff meeting, then I might not have time to prep for that day, so maybe I'll put it before school. So I know that I have to get to school early to go over my lessons for that day, to reread the lessons, know what I'm going to say, and then make sure I have all those materials ready. So I'll just go ahead and fill in. I know my week is pretty busy. So on Monday, definitely I'll come to school early and prep for the day. Just making sure I know what I'm going to teach. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and do that for Tuesday as well. Wednesday.
I usually think it's easier to do it the same. If you prefer doing it at the end of the day, you can do it every day at the end of the day or the beginning. It could get confusing if you're switching off. But that will happen sometimes with life. Okay, so we have our lessons all prepared for the week in the big chunk and then each day for that day. So then we need to think about setting aside specific times for parent communication, because we know if we don't, then that can often be something that gets pushed aside and just doesn't happen.
So I really like to communicate with parents on Friday. It's just a great chance for me to kind of share any shout outs that happen throughout the week, and then also just to communicate any information for the following week. So this might look like sending out a weekly email, or maybe making phone calls to parents. And so for that, I'm looking at Friday, and my conference period is wide open. So I'm going to add parent communication. on Friday, and then I know that I'm going to need another day of time to devote to parent communication. And so I'm thinking, just looking at the schedule, on Tuesday, when I meet with my coaches, I actually have a 25-minute chunk of time where I'm not meeting with them. So I can use that 25 minutes to communicate with parents.
Okay, so we have twice a week for our parent communication. So now we need to find some times to do our grading.
Okay. Taking a look at my schedule, I'm looking for pockets of time. So grading can happen, right? Like it doesn't take a long chunk of time. We can start and stop this task. But on Thursday, I know that for my data meeting, I also have time that I'm not actually in the data meeting. There's a space that overlaps where I don't have, I think it's like a 20-minute time where I won't be meeting with Ms. Taylor. So during that 20-minute time, I can just do a little grading. And then I also know that's not going to cut it for the week. I'm going to need some more time to grade. My Friday conference would still be, they'd have a lot of time left, so I'm going to grade after I communicate with parents. I'll do more grading, and then I'm going to put after school, I'm going to add grading again, finish up anything that I didn't get graded from that week, and then just looking at the next priority, inputting grades goes right together with that. So in my head, it makes sense to back that up and to batch these tasks. So I'm going to input grades on Friday afternoon, and I won't leave school until those grades are inputted. All right,
so then that just leaves our classroom maintenance, which is another smaller task that can be pretty easily broken up into smaller chunks. And so that's another one that, depending on how you feel, if you're a morning person and you like to get here early, that's something you could take care of in the morning to feel ready for your day. Or if you feel better leaving school with a clean classroom, that could be something you do at the very end of the day. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I know that I get really tired at the end of the day, and I'm more fresh and more likely to do those organizing tasks at the beginning of the day. So after I prep for my lessons, I'll do some maintenance. So I'll just add that in for each day.
All right, so there is a general idea of what your week might end up looking like. Obviously, this is an ideal week and you can be flexible with it, but if you start off with a plan, you're setting yourself up for success. And notice we didn't have to put anything in at home, so hopefully if we can make good use of our time during the school day, then we won't have to be bringing as much or anything home at the end of the day.
Yes.
Have a great week. We know y'all can do this, and let us know if you would like any help implementing this.
We're here for you, and we are here to support you.
Thanks.
Bye.